Can I start with Perkis? Sure. Last we talked, you said he had shown you what he needed to. Did something happen after that?
Yeah, just as we got there Friday and after the flight, we, in further assessment, we just didn't think he was ready or it was worth the risk of trying to get one match out of him for what could come for the next 2 or 3 matches. So we just didn't think he was ready. And to be fair, I thought Clement stepped in and did quite well. So I was pleased with him getting the opportunity, and I was pleased with his performance.
So you thought that when you left for Salt Lake that Perkis could play?
We were hopeful, but we weren't certain. We knew he was going to have to get on a flight. We knew he was going to have to train for real. When we got there, even after the flight, we just decided it wasn't even going to be worth the risk. Post-flight, he said he was still feeling a little bit tight in the area, so we didn't even put him through the training session. We decided at that point it wasn't going to happen.
So it's been a day and a bit now since the result. I'm sure you think the team deserved better from that performance, but are you looking forward now, not back?
Yeah, for sure. For us, we got to get better from each of these matches. All of them are experiences for us as a team as we grow, and we could have played better. There was things in that match that I thought we could have taken advantage of, and we didn't. I thought our second half was a little bit better in that way. We were a little more aggressive in our looks with the ball were better, and so we were able to open them up and create some more chances. The first half, I just don't think we were looking into the right spots, and we were recognizing what was available to us. On the defending side, I thought by and large we were okay. Clearly, dealing with crosses is something that we've got to get better at, and just understanding and managing runs out of midfield, but also managing the numbers in front of the goal and dealing with those situations. We've given up too many opportunities and too many goals off of crosses in and around our 6-yard box.
I know you've only been in charge for a certain length of time, but dealing with crosses seems to have been an issue that's been with this club for a while.
Yeah, that's possible. Last year I thought it was an issue, but it was different crosses. It was crosses that were getting to the end line and were being cut back or being played across behind our back line, and now I see them as we're forcing guys to turn back and hit crosses. Now they're crosses that are being bent in from the other direction, and they're in-swingers, and we're just not, we're either not managing the runs or we're not dealing with the ball appropriately. But it's something we got to get better at, because we got to, that's one area we can move forward.
Do you think how would you rate the back line? I mean, did they get the help from the midfield that they should have on, say, that first goal that Mulholland seemed to drift in alone?
I thought on both goals, to be specific, they could have gotten more help from the midfield for sure. I think on the first goal specifically, Mulholland makes a run out of midfield. We're numbers even in the box. We've got to track that run, and we've got to make sure we deal with it. I also think all of those goals could have been dealt with long before the ball actually gets into the box, and that's another issue that we've got to address. There's times where we could clean up plays before they turn into that. There's usually and all of these goals, it's almost like a comedy of errors, if you will, that we need to take care of, and then the ball doesn't end up in the box. That's the first priority, and second is how we defend it in the box. But I thought on the second goal, same thing. We were 3v3 in the box. We probably could manage it a little bit better, but then a midfielder starts to show a run into the box. We kind of let him go, which then catches the attention, I think, of our defenders just a little bit. And then we don't make the necessary shifts to deal with the extra number in the appropriate amount of time, and Jordan Allen finds the gap between our center back and our outside back, and buries one. But again, there was 3 chances we could have prevented that opportunity from even happening, and we didn't. And for me, the frustration on that one is when you get yourself back in the game, we shouldn't have been celebrating at that moment. We should be celebrating 5 minutes later when we finish the game and we end at 1-1, and that's when we celebrate. But we needed more concentration, more conviction from the group to make sure that they got nothing in that final 3 minutes.
It was Ashton's first start in quite a while. What did you make of his performance?
I thought Ash did well. I thought his overall defending was solid. I thought he got up into good spots on the attack. The only thing that we would have preferred a little bit was maybe some better service at times, which I think is one of Ash's strengths. I just thought on the day he wasn't necessarily getting the ball into the right spot that we needed it, but I thought his overall performance was fine. I thought he did a good job, and I thought he was more controlled defensively, which is one of the things we talked to him about, and I thought he did a good job in the 1v1 situations.
Is there an injury update on Caldwell? What's his status for Saturday?
Caldwell is still on the mend. Nothing clear for Saturday yet, but probably questionable at best.
What about Zavaleta and
Zavaleta and Bloomy have been training back. They're on their back to sport sort of protocols, and they're moving along nicely. So I would say that they are borderline questionable, probable.
Greg, Sunday's result was also marked by a goal taken back from Nick Hagland. When a dubious call is made like that, is there a protocol that you and the club go through afterwards in order to relay with the league your discontent in what you saw?
Yeah, the first step is I go irate. The second step is I scratch my head and try to figure out what's happening. And then calm prevails, and we actually try to find out what exactly was seen and what the call was. And yet, to my knowledge, yet there hasn't really a response. I mean, it is what it is at this point. We can control the things that we can control and get better at. Sometimes we get frustrated with the things that we can't. But I actually thought that was the course of the match. There was a number of situations in the match that left me scratching my head in terms of calls or moments or whatever the case may be. And it just felt like a tough one on that one. We needed goals. When you start 7 games on the road, you need some breaks. And we didn't get them in that match, and we didn't get them in the Columbus match. I'm not even talking about breaks. I'm talking about just straightforward stuff.
Well, the fans at home, they're clearly frustrated by what they see. And obviously that's compounded here within the club. I mean, you guys have to be completely frustrated, and rightfully so. So I just wonder how things change or how things improve on that end.
They don't. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I try my best. I don't want to make the call an excuse for why we didn't get the result. My opinion is we're better than they are. We should have won the game. And we weren't good enough in the 90 minutes to win the game. There happened to be a call in it that took a goal away from us that shouldn't have, but we have to get better. We have to improve in some of the areas that we've discussed. And in the end, hopefully, when we get to where we want to be, it doesn't matter if that happens. We still have done what we need to do to win the game.
I'm sorry, one more for me. Just Josie and Michael play today. Is the expectation for them to be available on Saturday?
On the plus side, that Jackson goal was a thing of beauty. I think there was 12 passes. They went through 10 players. Some not very good defending, but that's obviously what you're aspiring to, that kind of fluid play.
Absolutely. And sometimes not good defending is set up by good attacking and getting people in the right spaces. And those were the moments that are similar to what we were looking to set up. And I thought we did a good job there of when we played forward, then we were aggressive and moving forward and joining into the attack. And guys were looking to break lines, and we had numbers moving forward and into their box. And Jackson did a great job. Bright first of all, Robbie makes a great run to clear our center back out of the space. Bright makes a great run to get himself in a post-up position in the box, and Jackson continued his run. And so that was good. You know, a lot of what we're trying to do is deliberate so that we can repeat it game in and game out. We don't want to be a team that's chaos and occasionally you score a goal off of just some randomness. We want our players to be able to connect and read off of each other and set up actions, and sometimes that takes a little bit of time, but in the meantime, I thought that was a moment that was a very positive one for us. The other was when Sebastian got through and had a great look on goal. Those are options that we are looking to set up, and those are the looks that I thought we need to look more for. And we did in that half, and I thought it was a great opportunity for us. Again, if we can get Sebastian in those types of spots, we're going to be okay.
Is Jackson, with that brief appearance, is he playing himself into a candidate for right back?
He could be, yeah. It's definitely he's got a lot of skill sets. I mean, he could play as a more advanced player in our system. He could play as a right back. We felt like down a goal that Jackson almost at times plays like a winger, that we could get him in advanced positions where he could really run at the back line or make their outside back uncomfortable, and that was one of the reasons that we dropped him in on that game, and it made sense, and I thought he did a good job. For him, it's just continuing to understand what it is from a systematic standpoint that we want to do, and also just locking in a little bit on the defending side.
And Simoneau is very much a young work in progress, but he seems to continue to rise up the ladder in your pecking order. Is that fair to say? Yeah,
he's good. For me, it's repetition for him and experience, but I think as he's settled into that game, you can see some of the things he can do with his ability to open up the field with his passing. He's very comfortable stepping into the midfield with the ball and then opening up, creating numerical situations, advantages where he can then find the next pass. And it frees up our midfielders a little bit to try to get on the balls and create attacks. But I thought also for him, I thought he defended well. I thought he was good in the air in his aerial challenges. I thought he made, by and large, good decisions for most of the match defensively. And I thought it was an outstanding first match for him as a professional at the MLS level, and lots of room for him to continue to grow. And it'll be about consistency in that position as he continues to develop.
And you expect Bukis to be back this week?
I'm not 100% certain. To be fair, we'll continue to press him through the protocols, but we are We won't risk him this weekend because we have a bye this coming up week. We won't risk him if we don't think he's ready, but we're pushing him a little bit to see if he can, and then we'll make a decision come Thursday or Friday if we think he can do it.
Just finally for me, you chose Giroux as your captain. Is that really just the experience he has under his belt?
Yeah, I spoke to Joe. He was an option in that, and the funny thing was when I spoke to Joe, he said he would have given it to Benoit as well, right? So that's the kind of respect he has amongst the group. Benoit is every day he comes out, he's a winner, he's a fighter, and the guys have a ton of respect for him. I think he's learning still, because he's with a new group, is how to take advantage of the respect he has within the group and how to really to use that in his favor. And he's starting to get a feel for the travel in the games. I know as I spoke to him after the game, he's like, my legs were so heavy, and I'm like, yeah, that's MLS travel. You're in altitude. Every game is a little bit different, and he's adapting to that as is Sebastian, as they learn really how this league is challenging in ways that you don't really understand until you get into it.
Have you heard from the medical staff regarding Stevie's recovery? I mean, why is it taking? It seems like it's taking a little bit longer than normal. Why is that?
Yeah, well, he had in the image he had 3 different strains within the calf, and so most of them were of similar grade, if you will, but some taking a little bit longer than others to really come back. And really, at the end of the day, it comes down to how he feels as a veteran. He knows his body. He knows when he's ready to go, and as soon as he gives the okay as to returning back to on the field, the training, all that kind of stuff, then he'll get that. He'll move back into the training sessions, but he's just not quite there yet. He feels that way, and the training staff is progressing. Some of our guys are not young, and it takes a little bit of time, and we want to be cautious and bring them along the right way.
Is there concern on your part, because it's very early on in the season? If he misses Saturday, then that's 2.5 games that he would essentially miss through injury. He missed 11 through injury last year. As you said, he's 34.
Yeah. Concern for him, yeah, that he needs to be healthy, and we'd like to have him in the selection process. I mean, for us, it gives us an opportunity as he continues to get healthy. We see what we have for what will become the most important part of the season come summer when we get to Gold Cup time and when we push that final press. So, we were able to see Clement this weekend because a couple of guys were injured. I don't know if I would have thought Clement was as ready as he approved this weekend. So, through some of these difficult situations, you learn a little bit more about your team, and that's the only thing we can look at these moments.
Does it make it hard to plan? I mean, not knowing if you can, as you said, his body is what it is. He's 34. Is it hard to plan going forward with him, without him? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's for us, we plan as though we aren't going to have him until we do have him, until we know for certain, and so we bring guys along, and we see what everybody has, and when Stevie gets healthy, then he'll have to work himself back into the lineup, and it will all be depending on who's playing and how people are playing, whether they're playing well, and how the group is playing and the team is playing.
This is a loaded question, so forgive me, but the injury problem with him, did that sort of at all weigh into your mind with regards to giving the captaincy to Michael Bradley? Just because, I don't know, could you?
No, not entirely. Not entirely.
But
for me, no. I mean, to be fair, I don't take injuries are a part of the game, and I don't really make decisions, long-term decisions based on whether I think a guy's going to be injured or not. That's flipping a coin. So I make a decision based on what I think is best for the group and the mentality of the group and how the group is going to be moving forward. And that was it. It doesn't have anything to do with Stevie, and injuries or possible injuries or his age or anything like that in the grand scheme of things.
When do you think you're going to get out on the grass? Not
I
soon
hope
enough.
this week. Yeah, no, I really, really hope that I hear it's supposed to get to 16 by Thursday. We all have our hair dryers out, and we're trying to warm it up a little bit so it's not so hard. But I'm really hoping by sometime this week we can touch it. If not, for sure in this next window of time in the bye week, we're going to get out there. So, but we're really looking forward to that.
Have you had to do anything different? Because obviously you've mentioned the turf versus grass, etc. It's hard on everybody. Have you guys changed anything you're doing on this because of that?
Yes and no. I mean, sometimes we don't push them as hard in terms of day after day. We have to push them a little bit and then back off. Just as an example, today we didn't come out and train on the turf. We gave them an extra day of recovery. We took them in the gym. Just as an example, we wanted to take one more day to recover after a Sunday game, coming into a little bit of a short week. And so little things like that in terms of our preparation and progression how often we're on or how long we're on sometimes, but not in terms of the actual things that we do. We don't change too much.